All right. Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. I am Joey Calvo. Before we get started with our guest today, please continue to help the victims of the California wildfires. They do need our help, but also, we just had the floods in Texas that, lost a lot of people. They need your help as well now to help rebuild. They went through a lot. If you saw the pictures of what was lost and everything in that time, they probably would have needed this product that our guest has today. So we're going to get to that in a moment, but definitely reach out and help out the victims of the Texas floods as well. They do need a lot of help in rebuilding their lives, especially, for those that lost lives in it. They need to rebuild as well. So our guest today is Dr. Rob Yonover. He is a scientist. Give me one moment. I have to go to my little cheat sheet here. So just bear with me. He is a scientist, inventor, and adventurer. He was on Shark Tank on season 8, episode 22, introducing what we're going to discuss today about SpaceX. He was on SpaceX. He was also in the ALVIN Submersible. He's a PhD in volcanology. Invented military-approved survival gear. That's what we're called sea rescue, and we're going to get to that in a moment. And he was also, the side little thing about the big waves. He was a big wave surfer, commercial fisherman. He enjoys erupting volcanoes and dormant volcanoes as well. So, Dr. Rob, thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast.
Thank you, Joey. My pleasure. It's good to be here.
So how did Rob Yonover become Dr. Rob Yonover?
All right. Well, I was a little kid growing up in Miami, dreaming about volcanoes and surfing. And if you know Miami, the waves are about an inch high, and there are no volcanoes. So I just learned early on, if I got A's in school, no one would hassle me. So I had derelict friends, but I had straight A's, and I got the surfing bug and the science bug. And the other thing people don't tell you, if you get A's all the time, people start throwing money at you to get graduate degrees. So I got my master's paid for, worked on a gold deposit in Nova Scotia. Then I got a PhD paid for to go to Hawaii to surf the big waves and work on a submarine volcano, which I got to go down and visit off Galapagos in the ALVIN Submersible. I went down 2 miles deep. And while I was doing all that stuff, I fished in rough waters, volcanoes, surfing. Always on the edge of dying. I'm a scientist. I invented the sea rescue streamer, which is a locating device whether you're lost on ocean or land. And basically, if your head's a little speck, so if they're flying over looking for you, your head's the size of a coconut floating in the water. They're not going to see it. I invented a streamer, a long piece of orange plastic, and I patented struts in it, so it's segmented like a centipede. It won't twist up. It got military approvals. It's used all over the world. It's saved lives. It's on F-16s. It's on SpaceX. And that's what I've been doing. And I just keep inventing survival gear and running my sea rescue streamer company internationally.
Okay. Give me one moment. So he jumped ahead on us, folks. He jumped ahead, but that's okay. So what gave you the idea to go on Shark Tank and to present about the sea rescue?
Well, ever since that show came on, everyone's been telling me, you got to be on that show. You got the best technology. It's perfect. It's visual. It makes great TV. So they had a cattle call in Hawaii, and I woke up at 4 a.m. because I wanted to be first or second or 10th in line. I didn't want to have a 400-person line in the hot sun. So I just pitched. I pitched my idea. I'm good at pitching. I had all the right things that make a good pitch, and I kept making the cuts. Send a video, do this, do that. I kept making the cut till they finally flew me to LA, and I made the cut with the production team, and then I made the real cut, and I got on the show. So it was pretty cool.
Okay. So when you were on the show,
Yeah.
I mean, you had, Kevin O'Leary and Mark Cuban,
right.
And which shark, and Damon John, which shark really reached out and said, let's make this happen?
None of them, surprisingly. They all liked it on national TV. They all said, this is great technology. It's going to save lives. But I had been doing it for a while, and they thought that my experience with the military was much better than anything they could contribute. So even though it really worked out for the best, because they all liked it on national TV, they've been rerunning it. It's been on CNBC over 100 times in the last 5 years. Okay. And now it's on YouTube. Someone picked up my pitch, and it's got 56 million hits. So Mark Cuban, they all liked it a lot, and they all said it's going to save lives. So it's no better endorsement than that. And I was disappointed, of course, at the time, but you know what? I've always been on the track of I'm going all the way. Who's coming with me? You guys don't want to come with me? I was shocked that they didn't want to save more lives. These guys have a lot of money, and life isn't about just the money. I thought you're going to feel what I felt, because a couple of guys thanked me for saving their lives. They used the streamer, and I thought they would want that, but they were all about the money, and that's what the show's about. So they didn't pick me, but that's okay. It worked out. I'm still kicking.
So how did you wind up getting the funding that you need to get it started?
It's been self-funded from the beginning, and what I've done is I wrote. I got the patents and all that to protect me from anyone stealing it, and I got some military approvals, and even I worked through the media and did a couple pitches to get credibility and exposure, and I got a license deal with a local Hawaii company. So for 15 years, they paid me to travel around the world and be the spokesperson and be the marketing PR guy for the company. And we did some great things for 15 years. And then 5 or 7 years ago, the license ended, and I took it back. And my friend on the North Shore who makes my surfboard said, hey, do you know how to make them? Because I was looking for another licensee. And he goes, you know how to make them? I go, yeah, I know how to make them. I invented how to make them. He goes, why don't you just make them yourself and keep all the money? So that's what I've done. I've basically tooled the company down to a family-owned operation, and we make them. And we've always made them in USA, and we ship all over the world. And it's on Amazon. So it's an exciting small company that I'm going to run till I'm dead.
Okay. I mean, I'm in the process of trying to get a casino bus service started here in the Philadelphia area, and that's frankly hard to do because of my personal credit scores in reference to that.
Sure.
And so I've reached out to so many people, and I mean they're like, okay, we can do it, and then they get towards doing it, and they're like, oh, we can't do it. And I'm like,
really?
Why are you telling me this now when you could have told me this?
Right.
Because it comes back to the credit scores.
Yeah, they do their due diligence. And
yeah. So I do have, believe it or not, there is a capital company that's willing to help me. The only thing is, I need $5,000.
Why can't you bootstrap it? Why don't you just do it yourself? Start really small.
The money.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. Right now, I'm not working, so I don't have anything to go by.
I see.
Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to raise. And plus, a used bus right now, the cheapest used bus I found has been at least $35,000.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a big.
Yeah.
That's a
so
big
and starting out, you have to have 20. You have decent credit and put 25% down on that, and that's like $8,000-9,000, which I wish I had.
Right.
Then I'd say no problem. And then the insurance on it's probably another $11,000 for the year. I think it's 11,000 per year.
Yeah, that's
But
tough.
yeah,
Those are big numbers. Yeah,
they're big numbers. They are big numbers. But the capital place, they're like, well, if you come up with 5,000, we'll help you raise money to get everything you need, and we'll have it. We can get it within 3 months, 4 months. I said, okay. So right now I'm working on getting at least the 5,000, but I do have a GoFundMe page also for this podcast.
Okay.
On in the GoFundMe. So if folks, and I'm sorry I'm taking this away from Dr. Rob a minute, but if you go on GoFundMe and you search Life with Joey Calvo, you'll see it's called Life with Joey Calvo. Help Joey Calvo upgrade and expand the podcast to greater heights. And believe it or not, you know how you've been on Shark Tank.
Sure.
Well, there's a network that goes on Apple TV, Roku, etc. And it's called World Broadcast Network TV. They're willing to bring this podcast on the network.
Wow. But
it's going to cost me $1,600 a month.
Oh.
Because then once the podcast is on the network, then they'll help market it and so on. And
right.
I would make 20% off the advertising revenue they get. So everything comes down to a cost, no matter what direction I look.
No, I know. I understand. I feel your pain. That's why I've tried to keep it small, make a sale, make some money, and just keep doing things yourself as much as possible. Yeah. I mean, if I had that money, I would say no problem. I would have, had it running already, and I probably wouldn't be doing these podcasts, because I'd be busy doing that. Right.
But this podcast has been kind of carrying over, and even though I'm not even making anything off of this, even because of this, lack of sponsorship,
sure.
And I've always promoted, hey, if you want to be a sponsor, come see me. I mean, I would have had one, but they were only doing $100 a month, and I mean, I can't live on $100 a month.
Right.
Especially right now, like I said, being unemployed. I mean, $3,000 a month, yes, that would be a whole different story, because that would cover everything. Plus, gives me something to work with, in reference to, improving this podcast as well. So, all right. So you created this strip,
right?
Put out in the ocean, and you put out in the water,
right?
And so when the Coast Guard comes flying over the Schuylkill River and they see that strip, they know, hey, there's someone down there.
Right. Exactly.
Because I live closer to the Schuylkill River than the Delaware.
Okay.
And the Coast Guard is almost like our best friend once in a while.
Sure.
They're almost out here like every other day.
Yeah, if you need them.
yeah, we do need. No, mainly because I'm like, they always check. There's always something that happens out there. So that's what I'm saying.
Of course. Accidents happen, and you got to be prepared for them. That's the whole point.
So,
it's been a challenge though for us to get it into consumers' hands, because the military is more concerned with safety than regular people. Consumers, civilians don't really care and think about safety till it's too late. And then they want to call someone, but you can't really call someone when you're lost at sea or lost in the mountains. And even if you can, the one thing they always say is, you flew right over me 5 times. Why didn't you see me? Yeah. And that's because your head is the size of a rock or a coconut. There are a lot of rocks and coconuts out there.
Sorry. All right. So, So what got you to really want to start creating this sea rescue?
Well, I was flying. My friend's a pilot when I was a grad student in Hawaii working on volcanoes. I'm still in Hawaii, but the plane, we rented a plane and it was not sounding good. Single engine plane. I thought we were going to crash. And I looked down and all I saw was blue water. And if you've ever been to Hawaii, it's massive amounts of blue water. And I thought I could swim to shore, but my wife was going to die and the other people were going to die. Then I looked into what's available: smoke signals, flares, sea dye marker. It all goes away. And I go, there's got to be some way to signal people continuously and have it not go away. And as an inventor, a scientist and inventor, my whole life I've been tweaking things, trying to create things. I came from a creative family, and I just came up with this. And I've been working this for 40 years ago, that story. Mm-hmm. So I play the long game, you know. So I'm not giving up, and I just keep pushing. And one of my big focuses in life and one of my strategies is to never quit your day job. Because in inventing or bringing anything to market, it takes longer and it takes more money. So you need to have an influx of cash. So that's what I tell other inventors: don't quit your day job so you can quit your day job one day. Because if you put all the marbles in one thing and think it's going to happen quickly, that's a long shot. That's gambling. That's like a slot machine. It's like, I don't like to. I'm not a gambler.
Oh, that's my little side thing. I do. That's my getaway, I call it, is going to the casinos and playing the slots and stuff. And hence what led to the idea of the casino bus service.
Right.
In reference to it. Actually, it started out really as a taxi company back in Jersey in 1999 because I was a taxi driver back then. And so cool. I was enjoying the cash flow that was coming in. And you know, back then, if I had enough money to get at least a car or two, you know, then I could have been starting it. But it would be a whole lot more back then.
Sure.
So, and then I got married, moved out to Philadelphia, and then to find out all the taxi cabs had medallions. So I said, "Oh, let me go check the medallion." And at the time, a medallion was over $250,000. I was like, "Whoa!" Wow. I said, "That's it right there." So my idea went from taxis over to limousines, and I was like, "Okay, well, we can still, you know, work on it and do it that way."
Right.
But again, the credit scores and the money held me back. And plus, I was married to someone who version of life is what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine.
Right.
So I had nothing to work with.
Oh, too bad.
And then that ex-wife wasn't supportive in reference to what I wanted to do.
Sure. And
so that tanked for a little bit until like the past couple of years, and I started working on it again. And then last year I really put it into some gear where we're licensed in New Jersey and we're incorporated in New Jersey and Pennsylvania under two different companies, but at least we're further than when we were 25 years ago.
Couldn't you start it couldn't you bootstrap it like as a Uber guy with a fleet of vans?
No, I still would need the money for the vehicles, no matter where
I see.
Yeah. Right now it all comes down to the money part. Everything else is not a problem in reference to it. You know, it's the money to do it with. That's what's holding me back.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing that's holding me back in reference to that. So what's next for Rob? Is there going to be a sequel to the Sea Rescue?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I have a bunch of other inventions. I have a portable flotation device that fits in your pocket. I have a portable desalinator that converts salt water to fresh water. I have inflatable paddleboard rescue boards. I have a video search and rescue. I have a lot of stuff, and I've written a bunch of books too: Hardcore Inventing, Caregiver's Survival Guide, Hardcore Health, and Brainstorm Islands. I just keep creating, you know, and I even put up some of my stories on Facebook and Instagram, I grew up in Miami with a bunch of crazy people. You know, we had a crazy upbringing in the 70s in South Florida. And it's been a wild ride. And I just keep trying to stay creative while I'm running this company. So that's where I want to keep my brain sharp as I get older. So I keep my hands on. I have a strategy of micro, macro, mental. So everyone knows about macro, exercise to stay in good shape. I got to do that to surf big waves. I'm still surfing at the age of 66. And mental health is important, of course. But what people don't consider is micro. So doing things with your fingers and fine motor skills, I think people neglect that. And, you know, I don't want to say like knitting or crocheting or whatever you do with your hands, building stuff physically, I think is very useful for advanced aging. So anyway, I'm doing everything. And I have my kids one of my kids just had a kid and they're pregnant again. So I got a grandkid. I got to train her and the others on how to be creative and be a survivor in this world. So I've got a lot on my plate, and I do a lot of travel too, as much as I can, try to get new perspectives.
Okay. So how can people go out and either look into your books or into the sea rescue itself?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to searescuestreamer.com or go to Amazon and put Sea Rescue Streamer, or just put my name, Rob Yonover, into Google, and you'll see a lot of my stuff. Put my name into Amazon, Rob Yonover, you'll see my books. And I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm all over the place. So it's just, and I have a unique last name, so it's not like finding Rob Smith. Rob Yonover is unique. So you can find out about it there if you're interested. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. So go out to searescuestreamer.com. I did look at this product, and I was amazed at what I saw of it and how it worked and everything. So I mean, this would be great to have on your boats, as well as in if you have a little charter plane there to.
It works on land too. So for hikers, you see that one picture behind me.
Yeah. Definitely check that out. And so that way, when you are out in the woods or in the water or even in the air, you have something to recognize you with if danger arises. Right. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. And Rob, you're welcome to come back on anytime if there's anything else that you need to promote and expand on. We'll be happy to help you in whatever way we can. Also, folks, like I said, and I'm sorry to take it away from Rob for a second as well. If you go on the GoFundMe page and you search Life with Joey Calvo, you'll see the GoFundMe page, because we really want to take this podcast higher and upgrade it and really expand on it more to even a point to where we could bring Dr. Rob from Hawaii over to maybe Atlantic City for a couple of days, where he can actually sell his product in Atlantic City at a meet and greet type function, and meet with people that watch this podcast, and let them sign autographs and ask you questions and take pictures with you, etc. That would be something great to do. That's one thing we're working on right now in reference to this as well. Not only upgrading the equipment that we need to keep this podcast going, but also doing events to where you, the viewers, come see some of these guests up close and personal and get to know them, and rub noses with them, and maybe get ideas, like I would have attempted to do in reference to what I'm doing. But Dr. Rob, like I said, you're welcome to come back on anytime.
Thank you, Joey.
And anything new that comes up, like I said, please let me know right away so we can schedule and have you back on. All right. Also, just to let you know, on Saturday, July 26th, from 1 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, yes, we are going to do a record 6-hour podcast on 35 levels with Jim Marshall, who was on this podcast exactly 2 weeks ago. And so we're going to have on some metrics. So that is Saturday, this coming Saturday. So, Rob, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. God bless you all.
Thank you, Joey.